45. Joseph was no longer able to control himself before his attendant, so he cried out, "Make everyone go out of my presence." No one remained with Joseph when he made himself known to his brothers. He wept loudly. The Egyptians heard it, and Pharaoh's household heard about it. Joseph said to his brothers, "I am Joseph. Is my father still alive?" His brothers could not answer him because they were dumbfounded before him. Joseph said to his brothers, "Come closer to me." So they came near. Then he said, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Now do not be upset, and do not be angry with yourself, because you sold me here. For God sent me ahead of you to preserve life. For these past 2 years there has been famine in the land, and for 5 more years there will be neither plowing nor harvest. God sent me ahead of you to preserve you on the earth and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it is not you who sent me here, but God. He has made me an advisor to Pharaoh, lord over all his household, and ruler over all the land of Egypt. Now go up to my father quickly and tell him, 'This is what your son Joseph says. God has made me lord over all Egypt. Come down to me. Do not delay. You will live in the land of Goshen, and you will be near me, you, your children, and your grandchildren, your flocks, your herds, and everything you have. I will provide you with food there, because there will be 5 more years of famine. Otherwise, you would become poor, you and your household, and everyone who belongs to you. You and my brother Benjamin can certainly see with your own eyes that I really am the one who speaks to you. So tell my father about all my honor in Egypt and about everything you have seen. But bring my father down here quickly." Then he threw himself on the neck of his brother Benjamin and wept, and Benjamin wept on his neck. He kissed all his brothers and went all over them and wept all over them. After this, his brothers talked with him. Now it was reported in the household of Pharaoh, "Joseph's brothers have arrived." It pleased Pharaoh and his servants. Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Say to your brothers, 'Do this. Load your animals and go to the land of Canaan. Get your father and your household and come to me. Then I will give you the best land in Egypt, and you will eat the best of the land.' You are also commanded to say, 'Do this. Take for yourself wagons from the land of Egypt. For your little ones and for your wives, bring your father and come. Don't worry about your belongings, for the best of all the land of Egypt will be yours.' So the sons of Israel did as he said. Joseph gave them wagons as Pharaoh had instructed, and he gave them provisions for the journey. He gave sets of clothes for each one of them, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 sets of clothes. To his father he sent the following: 10 donkeys loaded with the best produce of Egypt, and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain, food, and provision for his father's journey. Then he sent his brothers on their way, and they left. He said to them, 'As you travel, don't be overcome with fear.' So they went up from Egypt and came to their father Jacob in the land of Canaan. They told him, 'Joseph is still alive, and he is ruler over all the land of Egypt.' Jacob was stunned, for he did not believe them. But when they related to him everything Joseph had said to them, and when he saw the wagons that Joseph had sent to transport him, their father Jacob's spirit revived. Then Israel said, 'Enough! My son Joseph is still alive. I will go and see him before I die.'" Hey, phantom mythos. Joseph would have probably been in drama club in high school. Well, could be. He does a bit of good acting, I would say that. Yes, he plays the part of an evil dictator fairly well there. fairly well. So notice what causes him to lose control. We got to back up a verse here. This is one of those things why chapter breaks sometimes are bad. We need to, for how can I go back to my father if the boy is not with me? I couldn't bear to see my father's pain. It is Judah's confession that he cares about the boy and he cares about his father. Also, they do admit that, hey, we were guilty of something and here's what happened. Now, they don't tell the whole details of it, but Judah is admitting to being guilty and God causing the judgment upon them. But the outcome of the judgment needs to fall on him, not his brother. And Joseph can't control himself at this. Now, in order to save his dignity in front of the Egyptians, the attendant and all of the Egyptians are sent out. So he is not going to cry in front of them, okay? But he can't control himself, and he's going to cry in front of his his family. Now, before, when he lost control, he left the presence of his brothers, went into a separate room, and cried, composed himself, and came back. Now, he can't control himself, and he wants to share who he is with his brothers. So everyone is to leave except the brothers. I wonder what they are thinking. Like, why is everyone leaving? We get no thought about that. But no one remained with Joseph when he made himself known to his brothers. He wept loudly. The Egyptians heard it, and Pharaoh's household heard about it. So he doesn't lose his dignity by weeping in front of them, but he's doing it loudly. They can hear. So they know what's going on, but they don't get to witness it. And Pharaoh's whole household hears about this. Obviously, they're going to hear about it. They're going to know about it. It's the indignity of crying and weeping as a leader. It's not necessarily you're going to be a bad leader for caring about people. So he is matching the level of care and concern for his brothers that Judah is feeling. And he tells them, I'm still alive. His brothers could not answer him because they're dumbfounded before him. It's like, yeah, we don't like, just think about the setup here. They've been lured into Joseph being stern and harsh, and now he is telling us he's our brother. There is both if it is our brother, we are doomed. He knows what we did, and I don't believe it's my brother. I can't believe it's not Joseph. Sorry, I can't believe that it is Joseph. And he come closer. So they came near. I'm Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. Now, he's not going to have the beard. He's going to be a head shaved. He's, 20 years down the road from his brothers, more than that. So it's no wonder they don't recognize him. Okay? But at this point, he's obviously speaking Hebrew. They're going to start to hear him talk and realize that it is him. Altis, you have a new collab studio site that you'd love to see you check out and give feedback. I don't know if I told you, but I can DM it if you want. It's still live, but still on beta. Oh, dude, absolutely. I'd love to check it out. So come closer. I am Joseph, your brother, whom you sold into Egypt. And now he goes into, don't be upset and don't be angry with yourself because you sold me here, for God sent me ahead of you to preserve life. So he's going to now give the bigger picture his brothers don't know. I was sent here ahead of you to preserve life. I was in the proper position at the proper time and able to step into it. And there's another 5 years of famine. We've only got 2. There's 5 more years of famine. God has put me in this position so that I can preserve you. If you guys don't come here, you're going to spend all of your gold and resources over the next 5 years to provide food, and you're going to be poor. Okay, so everyone needs to come here. Go get everybody in the household. Bring them here. I'm going to give you land. Yeah, and now, hey, you and my brother Benjamin can certainly see now with your own eyes, I'm who I say I am. And my father about all my honor. So go tell him about everything that you've seen and bring him here quickly. Now, here's the interesting thing. Well, not like I can say one more thing. So then they're throwing himself on the neck of his brother, and he weeps, and he's going around kissing his brothers, and they're weeping on each other, and his brothers talked with him. So we don't get all of that, but we have that piece finishing up. Shai, do you think Joseph's brothers might have tried to get Joseph after, or tried to find him after they sold him? There's nothing in the story that helps us see that, and it's probably one of those things that, like, how would you possibly be able to figure out where he is and follow up on it? So maybe they do some inquiries, but I don't think they know, or even possibly. And they're not going down to Egypt, except when they went down for grain, and then wasn't a time where they could look for him. I don't think. Okay. So then we heard the report was going to get to Pharaoh's household because they could hear Joseph weeping. And so Joseph's brothers have arrived. Joseph's brothers' arrival pleases Pharaoh, and Pharaoh basically says everything that Joseph said, but then he adds to it. You're going to send wagons with them. You're going to bring the whole family. And hey, don't bother to bring any of your stuff. We'll give you better stuff. You come down here to Egypt, we're going to replace all of your goods. Just get your family, get your little ones, bring all of your family here. You are now part of the family of Pharaoh's household because of Joseph. All right, we got ads. So we have the news getting to Pharaoh's household. He's like, everything that you're going to get. So now that Pharaoh has endorsed what Joseph had a plan, I don't know if the plan got to Pharaoh and Pharaoh agreed with it, or they both simultaneously are calling for the same thing. Doesn't matter. Family's going to come. Pharaoh says, also, we're sending wagons to make it easy for your little ones. They don't need to walk. Why would they walk? They're not going to walk. We're going to give them wagons. They're going to bring your wives and your little ones in wagons. They don't need to walk, and they don't need to ride no donkey. So we're going to go get them, bring everybody, bring the whole clan down here. So Israel did as he said. Joseph gave them, the sons of Israel, gave them wagons. Pharaoh had instructed, and he gave them provisions for the journey, and he gave them sets of clothes for each of them. But to Benjamin, he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 sets of clothes. Again, with the 5 times the amount of portion of meal. I don't know if his brother could actually eat it, and now he is getting 5 sets of clothes, and more than that, he's getting 300 pieces of silver. So way more silver than Joseph was sold for. How many pieces was Joseph sold for? I want to say it wasn't 30. I want to say it was 20. Yeah, 20 pieces of silver. So 20 times 5 would be, so that's not it. So I don't know how he gets to the 300. Doesn't matter. So he is blessing him, and then he sent the following: 10 donkeys loaded with the best produce and 10 female donkeys loaded with grain and provisions for the journey. So there is a repayment of the blessings that Jacob sent of all of the fruit of the land down to Egypt, and now the fruit of the land of Egypt is going up as well as grain for the journey so that you have enough food for the journey. Is this in addition to all of the grain that the 11 brothers have on their donkeys that are already going? I mean, at least the 10 female donkeys, the 10 male donkeys are going to be, it would appear to be. So they went up from Egypt and they came to their father. Their father doesn't believe them when he tells them, but when he sees the wagons to transport him, his spirit revives and he begins to believe that it is. And he's like, let's go, and let's go now. So we've got them all now going to head down to Egypt. And also, I think there was the words of him telling of all of the honor that Joseph had. His dad is going to remember the dream and realize the details of it match with the dream in a way that only God could orchestrate. And so that is the hope that he has. And so he's in agreement to let's go down to Egypt.